breaking down the representation of trauma in the House of Dragon. Host, welcome to Breaking Down the Details, where we dive into the intricacies of popular culture. Today, we're exploring the complex and often disturbing representation of trauma in the hit HBO series House of the Dragon, based on George R.R. Martin's book Fire and Blood. This prequel to Game of Thrones expands on the world of Westeros in a time of great turmoil. As we follow the journey of the Targaryen family, we witness the devastating impact of trauma on individuals and society as a whole. From the tumultuous early years of Viserys' reign to the violent descent into madness of Daemon and Rhaenyra, the show masterfully captures the crushing effects of trauma on the characters, their relationships, and the world around them. Host, one of the key aspects of trauma in House of the Dragon is the way it's depicted as an external force that permeates every aspect of the characters' lives. Think of the constant threat of war, the brutal suppression of the Stepstones' rebellion, or the forced marriages that are more akin to life sentences. These events are explicitly traumatic, but the show also explores more nuanced forms of trauma, such as the emotional distress inflicted by long-term neglect, abandonment, and humiliation. We see this in characters like Alicent, who suffers silently as she's torn between her family obligations and her own needs, or Rhaenyra's experiences with the shame and guilt that accompany her true nature being forced into hiding. These portrayals humanize the characters and help us understand the ripple effects of trauma in their lives. The wounds of the past continue to haunt the Targaryen family, and with it, a profound exploration of trauma's destructive yet transformative power. House of the Dragon, a Bose prequel to Game of Thrones, delves into the complexities of traumatic experience through the narratives of its complex, often dysfunctional family. This is particularly evident in the character of Alicent Hightower, who, despite being born into a life of privilege, is herself a product of a traumatic family history. Her mother, Rhaenyra's rival for her father's affections, suffered a stillbirth, a tragedy that is later echoed in Alicent's own experience of a traumatic loss. This legacy of pain and grief is skillfully woven throughout Alicent's storyline, demonstrating how the reverberations of past trauma can continue to shape a person's behavior and worldview, often in subtle yet profound ways. The show also masterfully illustrates how trauma can manifest differently across generations. The tension between Rhaenyra and her son Aegon, for example, is in part a product of the generational trauma inflicted upon Rhaenyra by her own mother. Viserys' struggles with grief and abandonment issues, which in turn affect his relationships with his children. This complex web of trauma and family dynamics highlights the way in which trauma can become embedded in the fabric of a family's culture, influencing not only individual behavior, but also the broader power structures and relationships within the family. By exploring the intricacies of traumatic experience, House of the Dragon challenges viewers to consider the lasting impact of past wounds on the present and future. Through the characters' struggles, the show demonstrates how trauma can lead to patterns of self-destructive behavior, reinforce toxic power dynamics, and create generational cycles of pain and suffering. However, it also offers a message of hope, suggesting that by confronting and working through their traumatic experiences, individuals and families can begin to heal, transform, and forge a more positive path forward.